the hell am I doing with my life?
I don't know.
Well, I know what I'm doing, but like a lot of us, I know, like 2017 for me is on purpose. That's my theme, right? But a lot of people are probably a little bit stumped after making all those New Year resolutions a couple weeks into January, and you feel like you're not even ready yet for resolution number 1. Well, the author of What the Hell Am I Doing with My Life and my namesake, Krystal Chong, is here with us.
You don't name Chong.
Okay, the Krystal spelled K-R-Y, right? So we feel like she has blood relation.
And as you can see, she has a ton of energy this morning. She's bringing enough energy for all three of us, and that's awesome. Here is your book.
That's right.
Everybody, Krystal went to Immaculate. She did. She was in my year. She was in my class.
I know, right?
So, this is an accomplishment for all of us. I'm taking my Great. This is an accomplishment for all of us, right? So, you're a writer. How did that happen?
It's a funny story, actually.
Tell us the story. We want to hear it.
I wasn't an intentional writer. What happened is that I was working in marketing, and I'm a little nervous, but we'll go away soon.
It's fine. It will go away.
Yeah. So I was working in marketing with Honeybun, and I was enjoying the job. It was a great job, but at a point, I felt like I was chasing a path of, money and success and recognition, and I sort of felt like no matter how far I went down that path, that was never going to lead to the kind of fulfillment that I was looking for. So I was like, well, I have to figure out something else. And then I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do with my life? And then basically just led to a crazy journey where I met a nomadic yogi rasta guru who became my...
What now?
Nomadic.
A nomadic yogi rasta guru.
Actually, when we met, he was literally homeless, so I called him a homeless yogi rasta guru, although he prefers the term nomadic, a little more Buddha and a little less drug addict.
He's Jamaican?
He's Jamaican, yeah.
Okay.
He's right outside. He came with me.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was when he came up to me and he said, you seem anxious. Do you want to do a meditation? And usually I would have been like, who
Get away!
Yeah.
Get away from me!
Like boho meditation. But we did it, and that started a real journey for me.
Wow. Now the title of the book is just perfect. It says exactly what you were feeling. What are you gonna do? So, what did you do? Where did the journey take you?
So the journey took me from resigning from my family's company, which was a challenge because it was a family company. And then I moved to New York with no visa, no job, no plan.
No visa. you mean no permanent visa? Not talk too loud, no jump for president. Remember, say it's still over there.
I know.
So, she didn't say that.
Just kidding. She didn't say that. I went with a visitor visa.
Yeah,
okay.
There you go. Yeah, she's still visiting. Okay.
No working visa.
Okay.
And I really had no plans, but I really just felt like this is what I needed to do at this time. I just got connected to the fact that I knew that there was something I was supposed to do with my life that was meaningful, and it just sort of possessed me. I just felt like I wanted more meaning in my life, and I had to find it.
So what was the first step?
The first step was, are these the steps that we want to talk about?
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah. 5 pointers.
Let's get to these pointers. These are the steps that you have. So that are for
well, yeah, tell us.
The whole journey is in the book. And so the book is basically about that journey. It's an Eat, Pray, Love type of story, a true story. Everything is true. And within that story is interwoven teachings from old and new spiritual teachers like Marie Forleo and Oprah and Jesus and Buddha. And then what I love is that at the end of each chapter, so it's a fun story about serious stuff, but you can enjoy going on a journey. And at the end of each chapter, there are 5 take-home steps.
But you have 5 that you chose for us.
For today.
For us.
Yeah.
So let's go through those.
Right, yeah.
All right, so we have the first step, and that was start taking responsibility for your life.
That's right.
What do you mean?
Okay,
I mean, everybody has a life. Everybody knows they're responsible for it. So what do you mean?
Yeah. So I think it does sound very simple. And I think that, so the best way for me to get this across, it sounds simple, but the best way for me to get across what I'm trying to say is to use something that Oprah says. Oprah, my homegirl, I love her.
We love Oprah.
And she says, you are responsible for your life. If you're sitting around waiting for somebody else to save you or to fix it, you're wasting your time. And it does sound simple, but I think very often, and I'm saying this from experience, we make excuses about things. We blame external situations. And I did this, I had issues with depression and anxiety, and I said, I can't live my most fulfilling life because I was cursed with this issue. And I think that, there's external circumstances that you can't avoid, that everybody has them. Everybody has different ones. But only until you take responsibility for the fact that you can't do anything about that, you can only focus on what you can do, and do that, are you really taking responsibility for the direction of your life.
So it means knowing that you have a problem or a challenge, accepting that this is an issue, and doing what you can to find the solutions that are available.
Despite those issues, and not letting those issues hold you back.
Okay. And then the next step is choose a healthy perspective. So that means rinse out your head back. Like wash out your mind altogether.
That's what you
Explain that
mean.
healthy perspective.
Yes,
First of all, what's an unhealthy perspective?
This point is really important because the perspective that you choose will either completely empower you or make you feel completely defeated and actionless. So an unhealthy perspective is one that, so I'll use myself as an example. When I was feeling confused about what I wanted to do, at first, I was like, this is really depressing. Like being in a situation where this is not what you're meant to do, knowing there's something that you're supposed to do, but not knowing how to get there. And at first, I felt really defeated and depressed, and I was like, oh God, this is the worst thing. And then that's a defeating perspective. That's an unhealthy perspective. It doesn't help you at all. It does nothing.
Can't move forward.
Right, exactly. A healthy perspective was looking at that very exact same situation, and something clicked for me, and it was a quote from Wayne Dyer, which says, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Yeah.
And that very same situation that I was confused about, I felt like, there's something that I'm supposed to do, and that's exciting. And I don't know what it is, and I'm gonna find out.
That's a challenge.
And
That's
that
a
was,
journey.
and it gives you the fuel that you need to go and find it and do what you need to.
And how much of that involved positive self-talk, which is talking yourself up and into action?
Well, a lot, because that's just always continuously choosing a healthy perspective.
Right.
Yeah.
And next we have find the right resources. That's kind of hard because suppose you don't have any friends, or they always say you need
Or the
friends in high
visitor's visa,
places.
right?
How do we find
take
the
on the
right
world.
I think that I completely understand why that seems hard, but I think that is what my Yogi Rasta guru calls a limiting belief, where you believe something that limits your capabilities. So else, especially today, where you live in a world where internet access is not that difficult, you have access to the whole world that people have access to. So for instance, people who might not have certain skills or certain education, there's like Khan Academy where you can go online and they have free courses that you can learn the same skills people are learning for like crazy tuition in other classes. You have access to the whole. It's called Khan Academy, K-A-H-N Academy. I got distracted. What was the question?
Oh, that was all right. Resources.
I got off on a tangent. I'm like way too excited.
Well, we can go on to the next one.
No, I do want to talk about the resources thing for a second because I think that it is difficult, but there is a quote from the Tao Te Ching, because when I started my journey, I got obsessed with Eastern philosophy, and it is, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
True that.
And I think it's really about opening yourself up to what's around you, seeing opportunities that are there, and really just stepping up to them. Yeah. And I'll give an example from my life. One was when my Yogi Rasta guru came into my life. I could have said, no, this makes me uncomfortable. But I knew that I wanted to figure something out, and I knew that I needed to do something differently than I was doing.
So you were ready and the teacher appeared.
Exactly. Yeah. And then another example, which is, different but the same, was I kind of wanted to figure out what to do next, and I was ready for that next step. And I was a part of a group where there was a gentleman, and he was very adventurous, very against the grain, and I was drawn to his energy. And I said to him, he was very intimidating, and I said to him, can I just take you to lunch? I just want to ask you a question. Yeah. And he sat at lunch with me, and I said to him, I'm really confused about my life. Like, do you have any suggestions? And it was really uncomfortable, but he became a mentor in my life and a really important person on my journey. Yeah. And so it is about just stepping up and taking that action.
Information that you're telling us is in the book here.
All of this. This plus 10 times more with
I think if everybody wants to follow that, we can find the book. But before we go, because we really have to
there's
go
a chapter
quickly.
called Mentor Manual.
Okay.
So where can we get the book?
Right.
On Amazon. There's ebook, audiobook, and print.
And is it in the bookstores?
It's at Bookophilia, Carry, Man, Woman, Home, and Innovative Systems.
And we can always follow you at your website.
That's right. KRYSTALCHONG.com and Instagram.
The last point that was here that we really need to say before we go is find a lesson in everything that goes right as well as everything that goes wrong.
Just keep learning.
Okay, I'm going to make it really quick, 1 minute. When you start your journey, you're going to feel like something is a detour or a mistake. And if you look at this and you think, what can I learn from it? and then you change something about yourself that then it becomes not a mistake or a failure, but something that was
lesson.
essential for you on the next stage of your journey.
True.
I wish I could talk more about it, but I
No,
can't.
no, well, yeah, we'll
in the
find
book,
it.
yeah.
Everybody who wants to hear anything about Krystal's journey, or even if you don't know what the hell you're doing with your life, here, read it. You might learn something and it might help you. Author of What the Hell Am I Doing
And can
with
I just
My
leave
Life?
with this?
Oh, sure.
I just want to say, when you're making, we're capable of so much. When you're making decisions, let your decisions be led by hope and not by fear. Let hope dictate the story of your life and not fear.
Thank you, Krystal.
And go get it!
Go get it! Krystal Chong, immaculate student and author of What the Hell Am I Doing with My Life. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you,
Get a
Krystal.
copy. More on Smile after the break. Get the book, get the book.